I am doing my informative speech on Marilyn Monroe and the conspiracy theory about whether her death was by murder or suicide. Marilyn Monroe was a movie star and sex symbol in the 1950s and early 1960s. I am here to inform you about three main ideas that have led some conspiracy theorists to believe that she was murdered by the US government and not by suicide. By the end of this, we believe the evidence that supports this theory or the more established reason for her death. The research I used to inform you about this conspiracy theory comes from History Channel historians, newspaper articles, Newsweek journal updates, and testimonies from those involved in the investigation and close to Marilyn. Rumors about Marilyn's affair with federal elected officials, her diary containing information about international issues, and how investigators interpreted her death have led some to believe that she was murdered. Famous rumors that surrounded Marilyn included the affairs that she was suspected to have had with President JFK and U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Anyone who knows both Marilyn Monroe and JFK are also aware that it was rumored that President JFK snuck Marilyn into the White House using secret tunnels under the building. Author and historian William Steele wrote an article about secret spaces in the White House. There are tunnels under the building that can be considered secret, but are not desirable places to go since they carry water from concealed gutters on the roof away from the home. No affair between JFK and Marilyn has been confirmed, although a source stated that they met up 4 times and slept together once, but in a non-sexual manner. The more compelling of the rumored affairs was that between Marilyn and Robert Kennedy. Marilyn's housemaid claimed that Robert Kennedy visited Monroe on the night of her death, and according to an article in the Chicago Tribune in 1982, Marilyn told her friend Robert Schweitzer that if Robert Kennedy kept avoiding her, that she would hold a press conference and tell the press about their affair and her future plans. When the JFK files were released in October of 2017, there was a letter from the FBI to Robert F. Kennedy warning him about a book that was planning to reveal details about his affair with Marilyn Monroe. Milo Sperglio, director of the Nick Harris Detective Agency in News, California, told Chicago Tribune that this diary names names and it may tell us who killed Marilyn Monroe. A TV report that aired on NBC in 1982 stated that Marilyn's diary was missing, which consisted of information on international issues and her affairs with the Kennedys. Monroe's diary is suspected to be the book the FBI warned Robert F. Kennedy about, so theorists believe that Marilyn's diary was removed from her home when she was murdered in order to protect the Kennedys. Marilyn threatening to go public with the information she had in her diary could have ruined the Kennedys' reputation. So how far would they go in order to protect their reputation? During the investigation, Sperglio offered a $10,000 reward for Marilyn's diary to be turned in, but unfortunately for them, it was never turned in. So would a diary and a threat to go public be enough for the government to step in to protect the reputation of those affected? Deputy Coroner Lionel Grandison told Chicago Tribune that the whole thing was organized to hide the truth. Since 1961, Marilyn was under constant care of psychiatrists and was prescribed antidepressants. When Marilyn was found, empty bottles of antidepressants were scattered around the room, her dead body laying face down naked on her bed, holding on to her phone. What concerned investigators was why she was holding onto the phone in the official coroner's report. Deputy Coroner Lionel Grandison told Chicago Tribune that he was forced to sign the official report, which did not include the note that Marilyn wrote, which did not speak of suicide, since the first police report vanished. His original autopsy reported that she died by ingesting barbiturates, although there were no traces of pills in her stomach or intestines. Jack Clemens, the Los Angeles Police Department homicide investigator, was the first to arrive at Marilyn's home. Clemens told Chicago Tribune that she was murdered by needle injection by someone she knew and probably trusted. A toxicologist reported later that there were indeed traces of barbiturates in her blood and liver, which indicates that the drugs were injected and not taken orally. So was Marilyn Monroe's death a cover-up to protect the Kennedy brothers or a tragedy of suicide? Rumors about Marilyn's affairs with federal elected officials, her diary containing information on international issues, and how investigators interpreted Marilyn's death have led some to believe that she was murdered by the government as a cover-up and to protect President John F. Kennedy and U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy. After all that information and testimonies I have shared, you can see why it is easy to believe that conspiracy theories have come up with this. Later reports have said that medical examiners flat out denied that there was ever an attempt to cover up her death, but what do you think? Were they trying to put an end to the investigation and stop all the media frenzy? Or did Marilyn's depression take over and lead her to commit suicide?